Hello and welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium. The Colts finished beating the Bears 21-16 today. It was not pretty, Nate, but in a way, I thought this was kind of the formula for how we thought they were going to win in the early Anthony Richardson days anyway.
Yeah, all the things that we hammered them on for last week, it wasn't that this is going to be some perfect team that lights it up. They're clearly a flawed team. But what we wanted to see them do was lean into the run game, lean into Jonathan Taylor, make him your star, use Anthony Richardson enough to make them think about both of those threats, and do enough of that on offense and stop the run at a decent enough level, which they did well today, to make teams drop back and make those mistakes. Unlike with Malik Willis, they made Caleb Williams try to win the game, and we saw that led to some mistakes, some turnovers, that strip sack that helped win the game. So they're not going to be able to get to that formula against every single opponent, but when you have one here at home, you need to be able to ride that, and that's what they did today.
Anthony Richardson really struggled, several missed throws, 2 bad interceptions. Shane Steichen did take the blame. He thought they were going to get a different coverage on the red zone interception, but the second one, I'm sure Steichen would have tried to take the blame for that too, but he can't. It's a play that Richardson steps up. He's got lots of room to run. He decides to throw to the left anyway. It gets picked off. The hard part, it's not. He doesn't look like a top-tier NFL starting quarterback. He doesn't look like a clear-cut NFL starting quarterback right now. I think the hard part is no one expected him to at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was tough. It's still, 7 games into his NFL career, and that's, 20 games total above high school, and just a lot of missed time in there that could have been spent developing some of those mechanics. So the one encouraging thing I did find is Anthony Richardson, he talked about how he doesn't know what's going wrong with some of these overthrows, but he's going to sit down and figure it out. Earlier, he was a little bit more dismissive of that, as almost like, well, that throw's get away from you sometimes. You got to use your arm to correct it. I think he's starting to realize that there's more to it than that. There's going to be something in his footwork that they can correct. So it's going to be an ongoing process, though. He is currently an inaccurate quarterback. That's what he was coming into the league. It's only 7 games into his career. That's still what he is. It's just like, can you use enough of those other talents, like the deep ball, extending plays, running the ball, and all of that, and he sprinkled in enough of that to contribute in some ways, and then he obviously is going to have to get a lot better for them to keep winning.
The Colts end up outlasting the Bears to avoid the disaster of going to 0-3. Next week, they'll be right back here again to face the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't know if anybody had that in Lucas Oil Stadium. For the Indy Star, I'm Joel A. Erickson. This is Nate Atkins.
We still got to go to work, all of us. We have a lot to clean up. You always want to end up in the win column. At the end of the day, that's always the number one priority, is come out with the win. But we know we got to go to work. It's still early, and we got a lot to get better at if we want to get to where we want to go.
They showed that Chicago offense that, y'all got to be careful when throwing the ball. So, you got JJ and the rest of the crew back there. It makes us, the front easier as well. And so once we start working, it makes it easier for the back end. So I feel like we're just complimenting each other a lot today.
Certainly we want to put a lot of points up on the board, but, things didn't really go our way in the first half, a little back and forth. Our defense played lights out today. Gave us the ball, 3 times, which is huge for us. We won the turnover battle, which is, that's one of the biggest keys to victory, right? And so as an offense, found it in the second half, started running the ball, and imposed our will on the defense.
Like I said, Coach Gus always said it comes in bunches, man. We got that momentum, everybody's rolling, man. You can't stop a freight train. So, like I said, I'm just proud of everybody coming together like we did and coming out with this win.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just got to settle down and just let the ball spin. I just got to give myself time and give myself some grace. I'm so hard on myself when I'm missing passes out there, because it's like, man, I don't want to miss any passes. Like I said, stuff like that's gonna happen, but man, I don't want them to happen. So I just got to play better.
Good team win. I mean, shoot, they're hard to come by sometimes in this league, but guys played hard. Defense played their tails off. I think 63 yards on the ground, 3 takeaways. Hell of a job by those guys. But, stuff to clean up, but good to get the first one for sure.
When you start off 0-2, it's not a lot of smiles going around, Now the reality of the situation is, we got a lot of games to go. Never too high, never too low. So we got to treat both defeat and victory the same. And we got a lot to learn from it, but it definitely feels good to be on the right side of the game.